Hello everyone. It's been a while since I've done a talkie video, so while my little one is quite happy and content watching Frozen downstairs with Daddy, I thought I'd take the opportunity to come and do a mini review. So it's been a couple of months since I've had my Little Leopardy Ludori. A little bit different from how we planned to do the adventure team, but I don't think anybody could have foreseen the current circumstances. So we've sort of tried as a group to do the best that we can, and whilst my little Leopardy Ludori hasn't really adventured very far around the new area we moved into, we've had a couple of different types of adventures up and down the stairs, in the kitchen, yeah, and that's about it. But as you can see, it's holding up really well and still as cute as the day I got it. So I've made it a bit bare bones and taken a lot of the stuff out just so you can appreciate more of the gorgeous cork. I did notice the other day that somebody was inquiring on one of the other adventurers posts about vegan options. So I thought, as the only person on the adventure team that has got the vegan option, I would have a little chat about that. So mine is made out of cork. Cork's sustainable. It's actually carved off the tree, so the tree doesn't have to be taken down for the cork to be harvested. So that is one of the reasons it's sustainable, meaning that it can just carry on growing and making more cork. So here's a little close-up of what the cork looks like. It's got this gorgeous sort of organic-y, grainy texture. I just like the fact that no two parts of it look the same. You get different tones, you get big chunks, you get teeny weeny chunks, and you can even still get the classic L&L patterns and pictures on it. So as you can see, you can still see the texture of the cork through, which I think is really important to appreciate the general texture of it, if that even makes sense. I know what I'm trying to say. And without losing the prettiness of how natural it is. I know what I'm saying. Work with me here. So you can still get it personalised. They also managed to source acrylic felt for me, which again is really important that it's acrylic felt, and it still looks just the same as regular felt. I presume performs the same. I don't know. I don't really use felt normally, but as you can see, it's not frayed, it's not torn at all. It still looks beautiful the day that it arrived. And they also used unwaxed cord again, so no beeswax. The cord still looks beautiful. It's still perfectly in place and hasn't frayed. So you can still have a gorgeous planner without losing, attractiveness, without losing functionality, and it holds up so far to me walking around the house with it. So yeah, let's have a little look at the kind of planner that I bought. So for me, I got the pocket because I wanted something that I could take around with me that would slip into the bottom of the pram, fit into the changing bag, or if, as I'd normally do, I'd gone and done the shopping just for something to do, it would still fit like poking into a shopping bag or even into my big coat pocket. Just for a little comparison, here is a personal. This is a personal key, and then also I've got a Simple Stories A5. So just a little size comparison for you. If you're new to planners, you'll find that they are bigger than the paper, as you can see. That's to protect the paper. It'd be completely pointless having a planner where the planner was completely in line with that, because that's not going to offer any protection to your pages whatsoever. It also looks a lot wider, but that's because the rings sit further out, and as it fills up, this is going to come out a little bit, so you need to protect the pages. So I find the best thing, rather than look at the page size for the paper that you need, but if you're looking at the actual like holdable size, either Google like planner comparisons, or just drop Lewis and Louisa a little message and they'll happily send you some comparison pictures. Lewis and Louisa are very used to me dropping them random messages. Hiya, can you just send me a picture of a micro next to a pocket, please? Just because hand sizes are different, Instagram pictures are always different, and I just want a literal side-by-side comparison of the physical planner and not the pages. So for me, I do, as you've seen, use personal and A5 as well. But in the rings in this, I basically keep everything to do with my daughter. So you can see a car seat collection, away day for Dot, I had an interview, her appointments. Obviously that dropped because we weren't having appointments or anything anymore. And then I started keeping track of everything that she eats. So she's allergic to milk. We should be starting the milk ladder, however we've had a couple of other random allergies that have pushed the milk ladder back. And this enables me, excuse my chicken scratch writing, it's when I'm trying to remember what she's had. This means, like, for example, when we popped up to the hospital the other day because of a rash that was quite bad, sorry, the doctors, not the hospital, I could easily give them an exact rundown of what she had to eat. So if you've got a child with an allergy, or even if it's not in one of these planners, I would really strongly suggest keeping a little rundown of what they're eating, just so you've got to hand in case of an emergency when you're probably not going to be able to recall what they've had. A little list of what they've had the past few days, and they can try and work out what it was. For example, for our case, she'd had watermelon, and that's what they figured it was. And then a few days later she reacted to strawberry, and because they said that they're related fruits, she's developed a related allergy to it. So I can now keep track of the last time she had it, wait for the rash to go down, and then we can try strawberries again. So if you're with me still, congratulations, you have the patience of a saint. I will now go through what I do with the strings. So if you are new to planning, you can get what I have is a hybrid planner or a rings and strings. So I've got rings, and just as it sounds, strings. So in here goes these adorable little traveller's notebooks, and nice and easy, bada bing bada boom, it's in. They sit around the rings, as you can see, and there's not just the rings, there's also these two pockets. So when I was planning on taking it out of the house a lot, I'd actually set this up to have 4. So I had one in each string and one in each pocket. They have changed with what I sort of keep in it. So for example, house stuff, this is when I was making little curtains and taking measurements. So what I find as well, especially if you've moved into a house, if you can keep measurements with you, especially if you're like me and you like going to charity shops, you can quickly go, how big's that window? I need curtains for. Oh, hang on, I've got it in here. Perfect. So I did end up having to order it online because of the pandemic, but I knew what material I wanted to buy and how much I needed. So my plan was to go to Birmingham Market and grab some. Obviously, it changed. I also keep usually a food one in here. Now that's downstairs at the moment because I recently made seitan. But that means that if I'm out in the shops and I see something that's on offer, I can think, oh, what can I make with that? If I can't think, grab my little cooking book out of here, check what else I need to go with it, and I've made a sort of bargain meal, kind of, because I've managed to get some of the ingredients on the cheap. I also have my little practice book. This has gone a little bit off. I haven't done it since the middle of June, purely because I've spent my calligraphy practice time designing instead, but I will be coming back to that shortly. And then when I'm not using them, I actually keep my little traveller's notebooks like this, so I can pick which 4 or even 2 that I want to take with me on a particular day. slot them in and keep them all nice and organised. Another one I like to have, which at the moment is hanging up because of not leaving the house, is my trackers. So I did not track last night. I like to keep track of my water intake, how heavy my period is, whether I've had my vitamins, whether I've been naughty like this and not had my 5 a days. Clearly I was anticipating being back at work. Mum time, important, or not as this may seem. And my social media posts. If you go down back on my posts or even flick through my highlights, under the L&L Adventurers tab, you'll see different types that I've done. And I think I much prefer the horizontal look to actually having to turn the book to do it like this. But that's the fun I find about the Traveller's Notebooks, is that it's a lot of fun finding the way that you like things, much like this, finding the way that you like to have things to hand, things you like to have with you a lot of the time. It's trial and error and it's fun while doing it. So I can't really think of anything else that you might want to know, but if you think of anything else you might want to know, please, please, please drop me a message. I'm on Instagram at Dorothy Dynamite. You can drop a comment on YouTube. Just come and have a little chat if you like planners, to be honest. Could always use some more planner friends. And it's nice to have people to talk to that have the same kind of hobby that you do. So come on down, have a little chat, ask some questions, show me your planner, tag me in your planner posts, inspire me, and hopefully I will have some new planner friends over on Instagram. Don't forget as well, if you have a planner YouTube, drop your handle down in the comments for me so I can come and be inspired by your post too, just because it's nice to try something new. So that is my Little Leopardy Ludori from lewislouisa.com.